This is going to be kind of a long overdue look at how some NFL teams use RPO concepts and zone concepts together. I think I've got 8 plays for you from the Eagles offense. I think using video from 4 different games during the season. Week 1 against the Falcons, early in the season against the Broncos, and then some games from later on in the season. One against the Giants when I think Jalen Hurts throws 3 picks, and then a couple of plays against the Saints. And I think they really took it to the Saints in the run game. So what I'm going to try to show you is primarily some RPO stuff and some zone concepts. So this first play is out of what I call unbalanced pro slot. So unbalanced for me means the tight end, which is who that arrow is pointing to, and the right tackle have switched sides. The right tackle is here, is the inside tackle. I think that's Lane Johnson, and the actual left tackle is outside of him. So you got a 3-man surface created. It's going to be a zone read essentially. If you can see it, hopefully well against that white background, it's up there under concept. As some of you guys know, I've got my database. I got a bunch of Eagles film in my database, and so I'm able to kind of separate this and aggregate it really quick to push out some content. So it's a zone read concept. Jalen Hurts, I think, is reading the end man on the line of scrimmage, as is the H-back who goes in motion, or post-snap motion, I should say, to go try to read him and kick him out. So here is the tight end over here. He switched sides with Lane Johnson, the actual right tackle, and then the left tackle's lined up outside of him. So they've created a 3-man surface, 1, 2, 3 over here with 3 offensive linemen, and they got a 2-man surface backside, and that's where they're going to run to. So the read man is this guy right here, 59. Jalen Hurts is going to read him, and so is this guy who slides over post snap. So this H-back here could potentially loop around, or he could kick him out if the guy goes upfield. In this case, both Hurts and the H-back, read him as stepping down. So this guy's trying to log him. He's trying to get to the outside of him. And then consequently, because they're reading him as stepping down to take the running back, Jalen Hurts is keeping the football for a big gain. I think it's an 11 or 12-yard gain. So going to move a little bit quicker through some of these concepts. But this is going to be the very next play against the Broncos. You got the same situation. You got the tight end and the running back on the same side. If you've been watching this channel long enough, you know I call that A gun. The back, tight end, same side in the gun. So A gun. If the back was over here on this to Hurts' left, that'd be B gun. Any case, it's zone read again right here to the right, and this time, actually I don't necessarily think it's zone read because they're blocking up the edge man with the tight end. I think this is just a called give because they've just kept the football, and so the defense is going to be somewhat aware and dedicating resources to stopping Jalen Hurts on the keep. So there's the back and the tight end on the same side. Here is the read man, or what would be the read man, but he's not on this play because the tight end is stepping to him and blocking him. And you've got what looks like a 7-man front, a very unusual 7-man front if you ask me. But you got a B-gap defender, you've got a B-gap defender, you got an A-gap defender. Not necessarily anyone lined up to play this A-gap here, unless 56 could play it, and then number 2 could play the C-gap with 59 playing the D-gap. So they do have all gaps covered in terms of the number of people. Still not a real sound defensive alignment if you ask me. And you can tell it's duo. It's not actually zone, it's duo. In my database, I can only label 1 play at a time. So since I've got 2 plays in one continuous file, it maintains the same data zone read. I think this is duo because you're blocking the edge player here. You're blocking the edge player here, and then they're just double teaming or comboing the 2 D tackles in the center of the screen, and it's a huge gain. They tore up the Broncos with the run game as well. It's like a 16 or 17-yard gain. All right, next play, also against the Broncos. This one is a zone read with the tight end and running back on the same side. So again, labeled A gun. It's bunch formation. So 3 receivers over here on the right. Broncos appear to be in their nickel with a rolled up safety here. And Hurts gives the football again for a pretty big gain. Could be stretch. It almost looks like stretch to me because these linemen are really trying to get outside. From the end zone angle, you're going to see. And that's the beautiful thing about these concepts, if you ask me. You got 2 defenders here. This number 41, this safety, and 59, an outside linebacker. Pre-snap, the defense doesn't know who the read man is because if it's an RPO, the read man could be the inside backer. If it's just zone read, which I think this is, then 59 is the read man, like he is in this play, because you're going to see that he's unblocked. The tight end, number 89, is going to work up to 41, so he's not the read man. That guy is right there. What I mean is, the tight end's going to work up here, because he knows that 41 is going to slide over to try to get involved in making the play. 59 is the read man because he's unblocked. At this point, I'm sure most of the people that watch this channel are quite familiar with option concepts since it's mostly a Ravens fan base. I'm extremely interested in how the Eagles utilize personnel formations and Jalen Hurts' versatility. I'm on record as saying that I think he's a guy who you can win football games with in the NFL, and I think they've proven that this year. Of course, they didn't win a playoff game, so he's going to get a lot of shit for that. All right, B gap now. Or B gun now, excuse me. You can see there because the tight end and the running back are on opposite sides, and you've got trips to the field. 1, 2, 3 from outside in. This is early. It's his first possession against the Falcons this season. I think this is like the 4th play of the season. The first 2 plays was 2 RPO look screens, and they hit them big, and then this one is the counter off of that. It's a zone replay where Hurts keeps it for a huge gain off the left side. And the Falcons just had real trouble lining up to this and defending it. If you got an inside backer here and an edge player that both appear to be going with the running back. The running back is here moving in this direction. There's the edge player. There's the inside backer. You get a better view of it from the end zone angle. Hurts keeps it like he should. Takes off around the end. Big gain. All right, let's check out the end zone angle. That's the edge player. These 2 guys here in this first game were both going with the running back. As soon as the back crossed his face, they're gone. They're playing heavy, aggressive, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's what you're going to do, then the edge player can't go with the running back too. The edge player has to step up field and force Hurts to give it. So now you can allocate these resources properly and let them play aggressive. Cool if that's your concept. Falcons were very undisciplined though. They got both of them. The inside backer and the edge player going to running back, and Hurts keeps it. It was like they couldn't be right no matter what they did. This is week 1 film, obviously, so you're going to say, well, they didn't do much with this the rest of the year. Yeah, they did. They ran the ball great. You know, they got whooped by the Bucs, who could have very easily been a Super Bowl team. And so the Eagles are closer than you think in terms of being a competitive team. If you don't think that this type of offense is sustainable, you're just wrong. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, there's going to be more teams that run this. Offensive football and philosophy trickles up, not down. That's my opinion. And if you disagree with it, that's cool. All right, B gun, because you got the tight end and the back on different sides. A zone read play where Hurts is reading this stand-up DN. Or he's a DN. He's an actual DN on the roster, but he's standing up right now. One thing that was not used on the first couple plays that I showed is motion. So the Eagles got motion coming through here, and what they've done is they've pulled this inside backer out of the box. So since he's pulled out of the box, when Jalen Hurts keeps it, he's got more space to juke this D end and then take off for a badass touchdown run. There's more Jalen Hurts in the world as far as playing quarterback than there is Tom Brady's. I mean Tom Brady's a bad example because he's so great. He's such an outlier in everything. But there's more guys like Jalen Hurts. I'm not talking about color. I'm just talking about ability, who can throw the ball well, who can run the ball well, and who are versatile enough and smart enough to read all this stuff, and they can execute it. Like, what's to fight? What's not to like there? I said that in another video on my old channel about Jalen Hurts. I just don't get it. What's not to like? A guy who can do this to an NFL D end and can throw the football, regardless of whether you think he's a C- thrower of the football, a B- thrower of the football. I'm not going to try to convince you that he's an A- thrower of the football at the NFL level. He certainly was in college. You can't argue with that, with the number of touchdowns and the touchdown to interception ratio that he had. But what's to not like when you have people who can do this? Juke an NFL D end and then finish the play off. And they can deliver the football when you ask them to. Okay, so you got to scheme up certain pass plays for them. The Chiefs scheme up pass plays for Mahomes. The Bills scheme up pass plays for Josh Allen. I mean, what does that mean? What are you saying, that they're the only guys that get plays schemed up for them? No, that's not true. RPO concepts are here to stay. And if you don't think they are, go ahead and put your name in the comment section, and hopefully my channel sticks around long enough that I can come back to it sometime and prove you wrong. RPO concepts are here to stay. Zone concepts are here to stay. They're just option football on a spread system is all it is. So this is a shoot route here by the slot receiver, and the back is going to cross face. Same thing with the Falcons happens. You get this inside backer. He goes here. Hurts reads it, gets it out to the slot. Now it's a great play by the safety. It's a great play by the safety. Goes out there, make a tackle. It's only like a 1 yard gain. But if you've been looking up here, all these gains are pretty big damn gains, if you ask me. Now let's go back to one thing that I want to talk about. You got that shoot route there in the back cross and face. Simultaneous to all this, the H-back on the other side is coming across the formation post-snap. And he could kick out this D-end if this D-end, was to run upfield. He could kick him out. Or if this D-end was to log down like this. I think that Hurts is reading this guy. And I think the H-back is reading this guy. Now, there are some people who have this guy look here first and look for the read. And then as he's coming across, pick up this read here. But I think you got to be pretty high level to do that. And I haven't seen, at least me personally, I have never been on the field with someone who could execute that consistently. But in any case, you see that what happens fast. The Falcons' philosophy here is he's going to wipe out the back. So if it's a give, he's trying to wipe him out. The part that doesn't fit, if you ask me, is if he's trying to wipe out the back, then this guy should be holding and not giving Hurts an immediate read. He should be holding here. So I don't think their concept was tied together, even though on this play you got a nice play by the safety. Hopefully I said that in a way that makes sense. If I didn't, point it out in the comments section because I want to be accurate. There's the D-end who's going to go down, attack the back. He's not attacking the mesh point. He's attacking the back. And then when I said that, I mean the running back. And then the H-back's coming across. He's trying to kick him out. Now, I think he tries to go low on the guy, actually. And then the inside backer is also playing the run here. If Hurts had kept this and then took it off running, here, you got a badass play. And that's the point of the whole video. As a defensive player pre-snap, you don't know whether it's a, quote, RPO, which is what I think this is. This is an RPO, and you got angled hook by this guy. And then you've got a shoot route by this guy, which I drew up on the all-22. This angled hook here would theoretically replace this guy, this inside backer, if this inside backer fills. All right, and then this guy does, whatever he does, he attacks like he did. Then what will happen is you'll have vacated space here, and I'll show that play to you in a minute. That's the point of the whole video. You don't know as a defensive player. Of course, you do know, hey, I got the back on my side. I could be the read guy, but you don't know if it's an RPO where they're leaving him unblocked, or if it's a zone read where they're leaving him unblocked. In this case, it's both of them. Defensive guys don't know that. You see that there's no one assigned to block this inside backer. And then the only guy assigned to block this edge player is the H-back coming across. Cool play, cool concept. If all you do is watch NFL football, you don't know that what you see in these concepts right here is probably 80% of college offenses. And if it isn't 80%, I can guarantee you it's 70%. This is where football is going, creating conflict with width, spread formations, and then run pass option plays. And then also creating conflict with a quarterback who can run the ball well enough to give the defense that 11th defender to have to worry about. All right, we're going to kind of go in reverse as far as the timeline of the season for the Eagles on these last couple plays. This is what I would call RPO screen. It's not really RPO. I don't think Hurts is reading anything. The back is on the same side as the trips, so I have this. This is mislabeled here as a gun. It should not be. The back and the tight end is over here, so the back and tight end on opposite sides, that should be labeled B gun. But in any case, you're going to see the back is going to cross face. Hurts doesn't really read anything. He just gives a slight play fake, but not much. There's no mesh. Gets the ball out there to the slot on the screen, and look what you got. You got two blockers against two defenders. Then you got the ball carrier here. And the third defender for the Falcons is this guy way over here. You got this is the first play of the season, I believe. Huge gain out to the field side by the Eagles. Give you the end zone angle of it here. Same concept. No mesh there at all. No mesh, so it's not RPO. He's not reading anything. He's just throwing it out there. They're letting the back cross his face, and this inside backer is on the move, and so is this edge player. He's going with the back. You can see they have both committed to the back, and Hurts is releasing the football out there. Look at all the space that you've got. And so something's wrong there with the Falcons defense in terms of one of these two guys needs to be slow playing it, or the safety needs to be flying. Any case, the very next play of the season is the same formation, trips to the field, and the back on the same side. So again, this is mislabeled. That should be B gun. If you're in my Patreon and you're up in the database, you can change that yourself, actually, if you have your column set up. If you're interested in my Patreon, like I have film with all this stuff labeled for different teams: Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles, Ravens, so that people can search and find the plays they want. It's what's helping me push out content really quickly. But getting back to the point of this video, they're creating conflict with the back on the same side as a slot sometimes on the same side as the tight end. But in these two plays here, the first two plays of the season, it's the back on the same side of trips and the trips to the field. So you got a lot of space from the hash down towards the sideline for the defense to have to cover. And in this case, it's the same concept. It's not really a mesh between Hurts and the back. You can see there's really no reason for this inside backer. This is poorly trained. There's no reason for this inside backer to be flying up like this unless he's just reading the back. There's no mesh. Still no mesh. There is no mesh. Now, if he's reading the tackle and the guard and he's reacting to that, then okay, fine. I would say to you that might be one of the reasons why you shouldn't be just solely reading that. But in any case, big gain out to the field. That's the second play of the season. The third play was a 1-yard gain, the shoot route that I showed you. And the fourth one was the zone read where Hurts keeps it up to the top side of the field. So same formation except with trips and the back to the field, and except Hurts keeps it. So beautiful first 4 plays of the season for the Eagles. They finished off that drive with a touchdown pass to Devonta Smith. All right, there is what I think is the read man. This guy is the inside backer that's going to go with the back. And they're blocking him up. You can see there's no mesh. This edge player is actually going to redirect well, but he's out of the picture in terms of being able to do anything about it. A couple more plays here. Later in the season against the Giants. Giants are in their 5-1. Some people call it a 3-3. 3 down linemen. 2 edge defenders here. 1 inside backer here. So you got a 6-man front. And the 7th guy is this guy here to have spot shadowed. Watch what he does on the snap. He goes with the back, just like the inside backer for the Falcons did. Now, is Hurts reading him? Could be. I don't think Hurts glanced at this guy at all. So Hurts got to be reading that 7th defender, whatever you want to call him. That guy right there to have spot showed. Hurts had, and you'll see it from the end zone angle. Gets the ball out here. Now there's a hold on the edge, but you have the same exact situation as what I detailed to you for the Falcons on the first 2 plays of the season. You have 2 blockers that are spot shadowed, and the ball carrier, which is 3, against 2 defenders, and then the 3rd defender is this linebacker 48 coming in late, and then you got the safety over the top. Don't ask me why he was lined up way over here when you got bunched to one side. I don't think they're aligned well enough to be able to stop this play. If that's what if this inside backer is doing what he's supposed to do, they're not lined up in a manner to stop this screen because they're a man down once he catches the football. It ends up being a touchdown that's called back for a hold right there on number 16. Pretty obvious. But it's a cool concept. Easy way to get the ball out in space. You know, is this sustainable? Maybe you disagree with me. But I think it must be sustainable for people to be using it from the high school, college, NFL level on up. Hurts is clearly looking at this inside backer, if you ask me. Keeps it. And he could have given it, though. Look what you got in the box. Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offensive linemen. This will be the ball carrier, so you got 6. Versus 1 hat, 2 hats, 3 hats, 4 hats. You got 6 on 5 with the ball carrier. I think that's a pretty good numbers for the offense. But in any case, ends up being a touchdown over here to the field that was called back. Now the last play, maybe the last 2 plays actually, this is a different formation, and this is absolutely an RPO similar to one of the plays I showed you against the Falcons. The Eagles are a little bit formation based. If you're interested, maybe I could do a video about the formation and what tells you how the formation can tell you to play. But that's not really the point of this video. The point is the concepts and how they put people in conflict. You got 12 personnel. You see that right there. And you got a balanced formation, so because you got 2 tight ends, 1 on the right, 1 on the left. I call this ace gun. Different people call it different things, but ace we call it if we got 2 slots or 2 tight ends, 1 on each side. It's off the line of scrimmage. If they're both on the line of scrimmage and the receivers are off, then we call it a heavy. Any case, you got the quarterback in the gun, and this is the routes you're going to get. You're going to get a shoot route by the slot right here. Same one that I think Devonta Smith ran against the Falcons, and they tackled him for the 1-yard gain. And then you're going to get the angled hook by the X right here. And what happens is on the mesh, with the running back, this strong safety steps up like to fill B gap, and when he does, the angled hook is wide open. That's the RPO concept. He's reading this guy right here. Hurts is. The H-back is reading this edge defender here and assigned to block him. So that way, if it's a give to the back, then we've got a kick-out block here. In any case, it's like a 22, 23-yard gain on an easy concept for Jalen Hurts to read. Strong safety jumps back in the box. He's got to know that he could be the read man. I mean, he's got the back on his side. He steps up. You can get all this space on the angled hook here. Right there. Ends up being an easy concept for them. Saints, everybody struggle with it because of the different types of plays they run out of it. You know what I mean? There's so many concepts that they run out of it that what it's doing is it's putting people in conflict. I mean, you could do some stuff where you slam this guy through the B when there's a mesh, and then you tell him to take the angled hook. Okay, great. That's cool on this play. Because on this play, theoretically, what I just drew up, 56 could be sitting right here in this window. You could throw a pick, or Hurts might hesitate. That sounds great. Awesome, coach. You just drew up some cool stuff. Hold on, though. You do that once, and the next time the Eagles get the football, and then they just go ahead and run stretch here, where everybody's stepping here, and this guy, and this tight end, this H-back, instead of stepping across, maybe he's going and getting an inside backer, and you've walked this guy this way. That's how, against the Broncos and some of these other teams, you had these guys put their foot in the ground and go upfield, and there was nobody there. It's like a 20-yard gain. And it was every back that the Eagles had. So my point is, yeah, you have some things you could do to stop a specific play, but the Eagles have counters to those plays. What I had drawn up on a mesh like this, what I had drawn up, that guy going B, this guy stepping here. Yeah, that looks great. Cool. But it won't work if it's stretched this way. If everybody's working here, and then this guy is able to cut it upfield because the inside backer has vacated that space. So there's options that the Eagles offense has and ways that they are creating conflict for people based upon the RPO and the zone system. And I think those things are sustainable. Are they sustainable for them to win a Super Bowl? I mean, hey man, if that's the end all be all for you as a fan or as a football observer, then what you're saying is there's only one successful team each year in the entire NFL football universe. And in your high school state, there's only one successful team each year for each classification. And there's only one successful team in college, for FBS and one, for FCS. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. There's plenty of people that are succeeding, that are doing great things at the NFL level that aren't winning the Super Bowl. And I think one of them this year was the Philadelphia Eagles. They took strides with their offense. I thought they were very multiple. I thought in some cases they used some lesser talented guys and squeezed a whole lot out of them in terms of production. And wherever you think Jalen Hurts falls on the, loser to champion scale, wherever you think he falls, fact is they were able to make the playoffs in a season when he was out for injury for at least 2 games. And they had rotating backs. It's not like they have a premier back there. They have some good guys. I like Miles Sanders. I like Howard. I even like Scott, the little guy. I like all of them. They're all great players if you ask me. But my standard for a great player is probably different than a lot of yours. A lot of you guys are probably like, oh, he's not a great player unless he runs for 1,600 yards a season. Well, the Eagles, they don't want that guy. They want, salary cap-wise, they want to be able to use multiple guys and rotate them and keep them fresh, and I thought they did that. Let me know what you think of the video. Hopefully I wasn't haphazard with it. Hopefully I showed you how the Eagles are able to use the RPO and the zone read games, in concert together to create conflict for defenses. And I'll certainly go and try to find some more plays and examples of things I think defenses were trying to do. The Falcons was clueless in what I showed you. The Broncos did at least have a couple of things they were trying to do, and the Saints did as well. The Saints thought they could force a keep read by the quarterback in at least 2 situations, and Jalen Hurts just showed them, I'm a better athlete than the guy you're drawing up on paper is going to make the tackle on me. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of this video concept and looking at how a team uses certain plays, in this case RPO stuff. What I intend to do with the RPO stuff, because I anticipate some people, they probably not listening at this point, I anticipate some people saying RPO is not an NFL concept, because I've seen that comment on my videos before. So this is a setup for real. What I'm going to do is, after someone says that, then I'm going to go ahead and make a video showing the Chiefs running RPOs, showing the Bills running RPOs, showing the Eagles, Ravens running RPOs. Now, did the Bengals run RPOs? No. Did the Rams run RPOs? Yeah, but they don't have, neither one of those last two teams I mentioned has a quarterback run threat off of the RPO. So when you tandem the RPO and the zone read concepts together, then you really put people in conflict that they don't have any answer to. Let me know what you guys think of the video in the comments section. If you've listened this long, I appreciate you guys checking out the video.